Now we're cooking. I'm Jonathan Coachman. You're tuned in to the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, running back Dalvin Cook. He's back and coming off a big game a weekend ago. Coming up, we'll see the visiting Minnesota Vikings taking on the Seattle Seahawks. I'll be back at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from Sunday's action. But for now, it's Monday Night Football. And to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Coach. We are in the Pacific Northwest as we get set for football at Century Link Field here in Seattle. A minute or so ago, it was the veteran leader of this Seattle secondary, Cam Chancellor, firing up the Seahawk crowd that's in its usual full roar as he and his mates get set to go head-to-head with the Minnesota Vikings. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at this Seahawks team as they get ready here. They've handled all comers through the first 3 months, a perfect 12-0.
Yeah, they're 3/4 of the way to a perfect season, and now's where it really starts to get into your mind. We'll see if it affects their play in any way.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
And I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
Three-quarters of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. To return, here comes Marcus Sherrills. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. Leading them out is their 6'2 quarterback who was a fourth-round pick back in 2012, Kirk Cousins.
And I thought it was a really nice performance last week by him. 3 touchdown passes. I think that signifies exactly what he was getting done. He did have the 1 interception.
But that's the ratio you say you're okay with, right?
If you go 3-1, you're going to be pretty happy over the course of the season. And let's face it, he'll never blame the receiver publicly. But behind closed doors, he probably told his agent, hey, what's the deal? I should have had a perfect game.
Cousins now to throw on first down. He's got it complete to Diggs, right side. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
And let's face it, that what we just saw there, not a surprise, is it? I mean, this is what he does well. And if you don't tackle him as soon as he catches the ball, this is the end result. Big yardage afterwards.
Got the speed, the agility, so good with run after catch. And we're only in the first quarter, so they better get a wrangle and a hold on that quickly.
Yeah, exactly right. And what's really difficult to try and defend him is if you want to press him so that you get him on the ground quickly after the catch, a lot of times he'll just run past you at the initial point of contact, and he'll go deep.
A good pickup there, a 22. 2 plays, 2 catches. You have a feeling they're going to look for him early and often, and that's to be expected. You got a player of his caliber, why not?
And I think it's also a message from them to the defense that you're not going to dictate to us what we're going to do with one of our better players, because so often you hear about defenses saying we're going to take away what you do best. In this case, they're going to move him around, find proper matchups, and make sure they continue to funnel the ball to him.
On second down, Cook fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. He'll get a couple yards back, but not more than that. They'll be left with 12 yards to go on third down. Let's take a look here at the offense for Minnesota.
The Vikings' top 2 receivers match up with any pair in the NFL, and I'm talking about Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs. And how about this? Both underdog success stories. Diggs, a 5th-rounder in 2015. Adam Thielen, undrafted in 2014. Now they're helping set the pace for wide receivers in the league.
On third down, Cousins. He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a first down.
Well, that opening drive looked good for a moment there, but they'll wind up being turned away thanks to the missed field goal.
And those especially hurt when you come into a game on the road. You're trying to get things to go your way early, and now you suffer a setback right out of the gate.
Now they're set up nicely at the 45-yard line after the missed field goal from 55. A first carry for the converted wideout, J.D. McKissick. And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. A tackle for loss there. 2 last week. He's tough to handle coming off the edge.
And when you talk about a defensive end, your first thought is, how does he rush the passer? That's where he makes his big plays, getting into the backfield. But the best ones can play the run as well. And that's what we're seeing from him, that excellent combination of holding the point of attack and also getting upfield to make plays in the backfield.
And it's hauled in by Ed Dixon. And he's got this to the 30 before being taken down. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They go play action here on first down. They throw caught right around the 6. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. A very solid gain of 27.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, it was flushed to his left.
And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Ed Dixon, his 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Seahawks have taken a first-quarter lead. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Sebastian Janikowski on for the PAT. Janikowski adds the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. So that drive, 4 plays, and the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. Out to kick is Janikowski. Here comes Sherrills. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
The Seahawks, here's their defensive lineup.
Quarterback Shaquille Griffin had a nice rookie year in large part because he was never intimidated. And that came from Richard Sherman, who tutored him in 2017 and said he noticed that early about the young guy, and they just turned him loose.
And on comes to Cook. And this time he's not going anywhere. They'll get him down right at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. That makes him now 0 for 2 here in the first quarter on 3rd down conversions.
And now they'll look to their defense because they need them to step up so they don't fall further behind here in the early going.
Returnable for Lockett. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to come back onto the field. And certainly they'll be hoping to hit pay dirt like they did on the last drive. Got the football back, so a chance to go up 2 scores.
And they haven't been tentative at all in this ball game because sometimes you start a game with your script to try and get information out of the opposing defense. How will they play you in certain situations? Sometimes you script to attack, and that's what I'm seeing so far.
The numbers for Baldwin last week, He was pretty prophetic. He said before that game, I want to get in the end zone often. He got there 3 times.
Yeah, it's one thing to catch a lot of footballs. That is important, but it's what you do after the catch that can make you great. And he had a great game last week.
It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
How about this offense already feeling good about themselves with a touchdown already in their first drive? It's certainly come out firing, even though that one was incomplete.
With the 7-0 lead, more apt to take a shot like that downfield?
Hey, you're one to the good. Go ahead and try and pressure advantage.
And he's got the first down as he's up to the 45-yard line. The rushing numbers for Wilson may be down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the first down.
That's something you have to be aware of as a defense and have to find a way to account for him. And if you're not going to use a spy, you're telling your guys to keep your eyes on him, because when he breaks out and makes plays like that, all it does is hurt you.
Have to at least be able to contain him somewhat. There they could not. Give him 30 yards there.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Alongside my broadcast partner, Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin hits the Seahawks with a football to begin quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. And his throw's going to be incomplete. The tight end, Ed Dixon, was the target. And now it's 2nd down.
After that throw, and it was definitely one that he would love to have back. I wonder what's going through his head. I wonder what kind of mind game he's playing with himself to get himself back on track. Because a lot of guys, that's what they do. They have little triggers that when the mechanics are off or if they make a bad throw, that they go to that place to get themselves back in sync.
They go play action with Wilson. They'll roll him out right, letting one go deep for the end zone. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd.
I like the play call. Roll him out. Give him a chance to run it or throw it. In this situation, he decided to fling it, but couldn't find his man open.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Now it's Wilson, escaping the pressure right. Completes it to Dixon. 50 catches for him now on the year. He's got a first down.
As a general rule, offensive linemen like to know where their quarterback's going to be when he's setting up to throw the football. But sometimes they just have to get on the run, get on the move. He was able to do that on that play and picks up a first down with a nice throw.
Now a play fake here on first down. Steps away to his left. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Russell Wilson with 2 first-half touchdown passes. And the Seahawks add on to their lead. Well, he scrambled outside of the pocket and wondered what was going to happen there. He fired a dart. That's what happened.
He certainly did. Scrambled left, looked left, and then left it in the receiver's hands with some dispatch.
In the receiver's hands, in the end zone for the score. They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for. And this touchdown will count. Janikowski good with the extra point. And that'll make the score 14-0. So that drive goes 8 plays. And it all culminates with a Seattle score. Out to kick is Janikowski. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Minnesota. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Play fake. Cousins. Complete to right. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
A give. This is Cook. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
I know what you're thinking out there. I know a lot of you are thinking, take a shot downfield. It's a great spot for it. I'd say maybe later in the game, definitely in the second half. But right now, I think they were just trying to get some momentum built. Get a first down, pick it up, and keep moving.
They run again on first down. Cook. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
When you're putting together the formula for winning defense, it's exactly what we're seeing in this game. Controlling the line of scrimmage, attacking, and changing everything so that now they're playing in the offense's backfield. They're playing an excellent game.
Now Cook. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. 7 yards on the carry. Make it 3rd and 4 coming up.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled them up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
Cousins to throw it. And the 3rd down pass falls incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
That'll go for only 17 yards on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Fancy footwork at the 45. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. From midfield now, here's Wilson, rolling to his right. And Lockett with a grab over the middle. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. They'll throw on first down with Wilson. Flushed out right. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. 1:57 to go in this first half. Back to CenturyLink Field after this. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10 now. Wilson eluding the pressure right. His throw caught right around the 6. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Ed Dixon, his 2nd TD of the game and 18th of the year. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Janikowski now for the point after. Janikowski adds the extra point, and that makes the score 21-0. Just a 4-play drive that time, and the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. To kick is Janikowski. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Minnesota. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
They've been playing sound fundamental defense thus far and able to keep this offense from creating a major dent on the scoreboard.
Able to force the incompletion, but still waiting for that game-changing play. You feel like it's coming, the first sack, the first turnover.
In a sense, they're playing old-school defense right now. The new-school defense is what you said, taking the ball away.
Following the incomplete pass, here they go again, 2nd and 10 from the 25. Throwing again, Cousins on 2nd and 10. And complete right side to Cook. The 30. 10. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. Hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Vikings are able to close the gap just a bit. Down 3 scores already. This game was really in danger of getting away from them. They needed a drive like that, especially on the road.
Not only to calm themselves, but maybe tamp down the crowd a little bit because everything was against them. As you noted, this game could have gotten away from them very easily, but instead, the calming drive, now they have a little bit more confidence. Okay, we're back in it. All right, we're ready to go. That was impressive.
And the defense now needs to reciprocate. Now for the extra point, Daniel Carlson. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And they'll cut the lead to 21-7. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This one taken from the 7. And he breaks it all the way out to the 38-yard line. Great return. And now trotting back out with the rest of his offensive mates, the big tight end. And we peek at some of his work from this game where he's nearing 100 yards.
And haven't we gotten pretty close in this game nowadays in the NFL to almost taking labels off of the tight end position? These guys now can be the #1 option in an offense, and that never used to be the case. So now how do you even match up with them? Cornerback, safety, linebacker, all 3 will have deficiencies against the best tight ends in the game.
Now Wilson, flush to his right. He's going to air this out for Baldwin. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. It's a big hook up there, Wilson to Baldwin, and even 50 yards. Well, it's one thing to grab it with one hand, but when you make a catch of that distance, quite another.
Yes, sir. I mean, that one right there, we keep talking about the high-flying antics that we're seeing from receivers nowadays. Doesn't matter what spot they start in. But when it actually does happen in the heat of battle, brings me right out of my seat.
10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. On 2nd down, here's Wilson. Buying time to his left. And he slings one that's incomplete.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
An incomplete pass on second down leads us to 3rd and inches. Throwing again here, Wilson. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Russell Wilson now with 4 touchdown passes on the afternoon. And the Seahawks add on to their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Janikowski on for the extra point. Janikowski good with the extra point. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it all culminates with a Seattle score. Out to kick is Janikowski. Here comes Kirk Cousins now to lead his offense back out there. And how does he rally the troops, so to speak? He's played well, but they're down big on the scoreboard. How does he get his guys going?
Make sure they understand it's not a me game, it's a team game. Everyone has to come together. Everyone has to up the level of play a little bit, including himself, and find a way to make some plays in order to give them a little bit of a spark and rally the team.
We'll see if they can indeed rally down big on the scoreboard right now. Over the middle here to Rudolph. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. Cousins on first down. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down. Now they got to get to the line quickly. On 1st and 10, Cousins. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. After the interception, here's Wilson. He's going to air this out for Baldwin. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Play action. Now Wilson sliding out of the pocket. It's complete to Lockett. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Face mask. Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
And Janikowski bangs it through. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone, to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Let's get you caught up on what's going on around the NFL. We'll start up at New Era Field just outside of Buffalo, where it was the visiting Jets were able to get the road victory. 20-10 was the final. From there, let's head off and check out a second game. And they were winners in that one as they take care of the visiting Denver Broncos. Jimmy Garoppolo leading the way in the victory with 3 touchdown passes. Finally, let's get to the country music capital of the world. See what's happening with the Titans at home in Nashville. And it was the visiting Jacksonville Jaguars that go home with the victory. Blake Bortles leading the way in the victory with 3 touchdown passes. In our game has been Russell Wilson, who was dynamic as usual in that first half. He's thrown for over 200 yards already, and his guys have the lead as well. As we get you back to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This one taken from the 7. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Tennessee offense making their way out onto the field as you take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that number 1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it. It's team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that number 1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't take the foot off the gas.
No, not at all. Play it all the way through, and I think we've seen that in recent years in the NFL. The teams that play to win each and every game, they're the ones to deal with in the playoffs.
And out across midfield down to the 45. That one goes for 24 yards.
Well, from an offense's perspective, that sure was pretty, because the corner route is extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is, because more and more...
A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. They needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the third quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break. Taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
Try to fire up that running game with Dalvin Cook. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Now a first carry for their fullback. And a short gain here as he gets it up only to about the 6. Just a 1-yard pickup on the play. And that's going to make it 3rd down and 10. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Cousins from the gun on 3rd. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. He won't get in, but they are going to have the football in a great spot. 1st and goal at the 3-yard line. And that pick just sets them up beautifully right down near the goal line.
I remember being in a defensive meeting back when I was in college, and our defensive coordinator says, we're going to call this Be Who You Are defense. D linemen, you play the run. Linebackers, be aware of anything. And secondary, you play the pass. That way, you're all set, ready for whatever they put out there.
And it's a Seattle Seahawks touchdown.
That was not a designed run. It was supposed to be a pass, but it turned into an exceptional run. What a scramble for a touchdown.
Janikowski adds the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. A nice, tidy little drive there, getting the ball in excellent field position, and only one play to score it. Out to kick is Janikowski. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And now out comes Minnesota. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough, because we always talk about it being a team game, and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite things. And I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, you talk about going to your playmakers. They probably need to do it.
Find someone that you're used to touching the football that makes big plays and give them that opportunity to maybe wake up everyone else. When you lose that kind of yardage on a pass play, you often expect it to be a sack. But that wasn't the case there. They completed the pass. Probably would have been better off just dropping the football and making an incompletion as opposed to catching it and losing that kind of yardage.
He's got the connection over the middle to Diggs. And down he'll go at the 25. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
From the gun, here's Cousins. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that's going to make it fourth down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. Do you like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
So let's glance at a player's spotlight now with Russell Wilson. He's enjoying a great deal of success. His team is also enjoying a great deal of success.
Yeah, he's got that nice little, what I call the QB lean going right now. You see that little stroll that he's got
swagger
going? Yeah, he's definitely got that. You see him throwing the football, the nice little video. He's seeing that in his head as well because he wants more of that to happen. So anytime you see him that relaxed, that comfortable, usually it's a big thumbs up for his team.
That's caught inside the 20. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. And Dixon, 52 yards. And the Seahawks are running away with this one.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that, truly leading his team right now towards victory.
3 touchdown catches. He's been the headliner. Janikowski now for the point after. Janikowski good with the extra point, and the lead will swell by 1 more. Out to kick is Janikowski. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And the Vikings now heading onto the field. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up.
Yeah.
Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think he might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. 2nd down, Cousins. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
The Vikings on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. Well, pretty woeful there. Just 23 yards on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here's Russell Wilson and the Seahawk offense now getting set to go again. And nobody in the stadium feels better than he does right now. Just a slew of touchdown passes. He's been spectacular.
And you and I both know this is a team game, one of the best team games that's out there. But right now, I've forgotten what the scoreboard even says. Just watching what he's doing.
It's been fun.
That's been mesmerizing and a whole lot of fun to watch.
He's hoping to keep it going here in the third quarter. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Everson Griffin in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10. Chalk that up as their first sack in this game, and they tallied 4 a week ago.
And probably not as much exultation in that sack as what took us so long. Because when you get 4 the previous week, you're counting on continuing that momentum. They didn't get that done in the first half of the game. Let's see now if they start to bring even more exotic pressure towards the quarterback.
That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
The Seahawks on third down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. From the gun, it's Wilson. Dancing to his left. He's going to air this out for Baldwin. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. And now Sebastian Janikowski on from a long distance. He's hit from 61 and 63 in his career. And now before they run this play on 4th and 1, we're going to get a break and a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. And welcome back. The offensive unit, they took the timeout. And now they get set to line up as we resume action. And no move to get the offense off the field. They'll stay put on 4th and 1. They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. It's caught right side, Dixon. And now this is going to be close. The defense says they stopped him, and they did. And now out comes Minnesota. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
Back to the ground, this time Cook. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. Now whistles and a timeout. Looks like we've got a Viking slow to get up. We'll check on his status when we get back. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. 3rd and long for Cousins. And that's going to be too high, out of bounds and incomplete.
And we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Now, fair catch is called for and taken at the, we'll call it the 37-yard line. It'll go as just a 15-yard punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 37. From the shotgun, Wilson. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a 1st down. Wilson now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10.
Hey. 4 down.
1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Seattle, Washington. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. They go play action here on 1st down. Being chased out left. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Hey, 4 down. Green 80.
Wilson now. Going to throw again. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. The improv act there, good for 9. And now they'll be looking at a 3rd and short. 3rd and 1. The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've been good. 3 for 4 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Out of the gun. Here's Wilson. Completes it to Dixon. But he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22. Everson Griffin in there to get him for his 2nd sack of the night. And it's never good to take a sack. You really don't want to take one down here in this part of the field, down near the red zone.
Not at all, because you're already pretty much assured of a field goal. But you take a big sack, it could push you out of range, and that's why defenses get a little more aggressive in this situation. They're almost conceding the 3 points. They want to push you back and try and take you out.
Looking for Lockett, and it's intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown. This game's still fairly well in hand, but I think now you go conservative, don't you? Go into your shell and just run the football?
I think you have to, but you also have to tell your backs, make sure you're really protecting the football, because you're going to run into a stacked defensive front, which is why they were throwing the football before, trying to make sure they just get their backs, really beat up in that situation. Now, good luck to them.
the Seahawks. Looks like they've recovered. They have. Now they're down big here in the fourth. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all. And if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again sometime, maybe you'll find a better way to do it. But, yeah, this game's pretty much done for them.
The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. We've got a lopsided game here. I don't know, Charles, what does the handbook say that we discuss when we've got a game like this in the fourth quarter?
Hold on a second. Let me thumb to the proper page on that. Know what it says?
What?
Let's discuss how we got here. This is a dominant performance, where they took control of this game, how they've managed to keep control of this game, and then we go ahead and think about how we're going to leave here and get to the airport. In a lopsided blowout, the roads are usually open.
Back to the air, Wilson after the pick six. Flushed out right. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, second down.
Finally, a good play there defensively on the deep ball. The secondary has had its struggles this entire game. Offensively, they've had their way with them.
So second down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43.
Come on, in and out. Come on, tempo.
Again on 2nd and 10. It's Wilson. Forced out to his left. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Trey Wayne's the Michigan State man right there in coverage.
This defense could use some more of these types of plays. How about him reading it, driving on the football, and he's right there for the pass breakup.
The Seahawks on third down. They've been near perfect. 4 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Here's Wilson. He's got the tight end, Vanette. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. And now out comes Minnesota. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
They begin the drive with a run by Murray. And he'll get him a little bit of breathing room across the 5 to the 6-yard line. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
Cousins the throw, and incomplete there. A nice hit, jars the ball free, and brings up 3rd down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. To throw, Cousins. Open man is Thielen is complete. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. And they pick up 25 as they convert on 3rd.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. A first down throw for Cousins. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. It'll be a gain of 4, and that'll make it 2nd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
False start, offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. To the air again, it's Cousins. Time for a break. Throwing the slant pattern here, complete. This one, all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. The Vikings on 3rd down. Just 1 conversion in 8 tries. Not good. This time it's 3rd and 3. Cousins again. He's going to let it fly. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by the all-pro free safety, Earl Thomas. And they will take over at the 26-yard line. So that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December.
Giving.
Right? It is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
Wilson wants to throw it. Steps away to his left. And the tight end Dixon left side. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A really nice gain of 25 yards. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. On 1st down, Wilson eluding the pressure right. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a 1st down.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit because earlier in the game, I think he was trying to force a lot of throws into his windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a 2nd interception, really a bad throw. So maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now.
Flush to his right. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
Well, he's proven real effective running the football. No one open, don't force it. Just get what you can, and that's what he's done very well in this game.
Don't take forever, okay?
On 2nd down, Wilson. And oh, look at that, a diving catch. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up 1st and goal. Now Wilson. Escaping the pressure right. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that's leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Janikowski adds the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. Here comes Sherrills. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
don't forget today. don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today, coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. One last shot now for Cousins. Now a desperation throw deep, and for the fourth time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by the Pro Bowl safety Cam Chancellor. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Seahawks, the streak lives as they move to 13-0 now on the year. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the San Francisco 49ers. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, it's going to all but eliminate them from the playoff picture as they fall to 5-8. And they will be